Make sure you subscribe to JerCrispy.
Alright, so what I've been looking at lately, I looked at my last video, the one with Kaisa and Gorilla. It's like, okay, it'll play the beginning part, and then it'll all of a sudden like trip. I think it's my Wi-Fi, because I got so much people around my house, and I have my little brothers and them, all them, my mom, dad, and all them in this house. This is why it's tripping. But I'm glad today I got the house to myself, and yeah, so let me make the video even more better and all that. But let me go ahead and hit my intro. What's up, y'all? It's your host with the most, that's the most, JerCrispy. Welcome back to another video. Today I got y'all the scary truth behind regular show by the Faction Addiction. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow all the social media that is gonna pop up on the screen. And we're on the road to 100. Let's go.
Rigby, what are we doing?
Hold up. That's a man like camera on the bottom. Y'all be telling me nothing.
Hanging out in a mansion, wearing suits of armor, drinking sodas. The usual.
No, I mean, with our lives, man. This is really dumb.
The regular show is one of those shows that is quite literally anything but regular.
The regular show is the best show, hands down. I'll sit there like, and I meant when I say this. If I wanted to go and die a easy way, I would rather have 7 TVs sitting on my rocking chair and watching non-stop cartoons. Simple like that.
From the completely unpredictable plot lines
At
of
least
each
the one on
episode,
cartoon.
to the great deal of adult references throughout the entire series. This show's humor can be appreciated by almost all ages, for it has jokes that appeal to everyone. But the comedy that takes place in this franchise may go a bit deeper than it's initially portrayed. All episodes of the regular show are based on a very similar structure, which is displayed throughout the entire series. Typically starting with the two main characters, Mordecai and Rigby, being presented a minor problem, and in their attempt to solve it, something completely out of the ordinary takes place. For example, in the pilot episode, Mordecai and Rigby are gifted an old couch but can't decide who should keep it. This is the conflict, and to resolve this issue, they play a game of rock, paper, scissors. In doing so...
Okay, right here, off rip. This had to be the most craziest, kind of stupidest episode. This dude skips. I remember this episode like it was yesterday. This dude Skip said if you play rock paper scissors non-stop and nobody lost and you get the same thing, rock scissors paper paper, it's gonna open a portal or some stuff like that. Like I was like, me looking back then, never, like, me as a little dude, like looking at that, like I never knew that. That just flew through my head. Now like I rewatch it now as an 18-year-old ass nigga. Like, as a young nigga, this is episode is kind of crazy and stupid. Like, like, ain't no way.
They summon a monster that tries to eat the couch.
Whoa.
On surface level, all of this seems to be completely random, with seemingly not even an apparent moral. But there might be a way deeper meaning than what we originally perceived. Obviously, we know that the story of each episode follows both Rigby and Mordecai, but what if it isn't that simple? What if it's only Rigby? What if Mordecai and the rest of the park's residents don't exist? But I'll get back to that.
What?
First, let me address some of the more apparent topics. A very common theory is that Mordecai and Rigby are both alcoholics, for in many episodes they are depicted drinking soda, which is I believe to be a euphemism for beer. But it's not just those two that seem to have an issue with alcohol, but the entire park.
But how? Only Mordecai and Rigby drink sodas.
Well, of course. But they all eat wings. And I know what you're thinking. What do wings have to do with alcohol? Well, the writer actually makes it quite obvious that wings are supposed to resemble hard liquor or something similar to it. Many of the characters say things like,
I brought us some wings to help us celebrate.
Sorry, Muscle Man, not this time.
Come on, it's only one wing.
Well...
or even,
Well, sometimes people do things they regret on a belly full of wings.
These are statements that you typically only hear when people are referring to alcohol. Not to mention, every time the park goes to celebrate on the weekends, they go to a place called Wing Kingdom, most likely referencing a bar. Now let's get into the whole everyone not existing aspect of the video. Out of everyone that works at the park, one person in particular seems to struggle the most with the so-called soda addiction, and that's Rigby. He also seems to share very similar traits with all of the park staff. A little too similar. What if it's not just
Oh my god, hold on, run that back. I don't even care what I'm not caring what he's saying, but like it's too funny.
also seems to share very similar traits with all of the park staff. A little too similar.
Just a bitch ass.
What if it's not just that they're similar to Rigby, but a part of him? We know that what often comes with chronic alcoholism is a tendency to dissociate yourself. Addicts often struggle to admit to themselves and to others that they have a problem, when to everyone else, it's obvious. Maybe the regular show is a representation of how Rigby is coming to terms with his alcoholism, by subconsciously analyzing these issues through these characters he's created inside his mind. For instance, Rigby as a raccoon is how he perceives himself: childish, naive, short, immature, while Mordecai represents what Rigby aspires to be like: tall, responsible, but still understands how to be a relaxed and down-to-earth person. Benson represents the anger and rage that Rigby holds onto, and the reason he's always mad at Rigby could be a reference to Rigby's depression, putting himself down, which can easily be attributed to being an alcoholic. Muscle Man is how Rigby believes society views him: rude, arrogant, unattractive, and overly emotional. And finally, Skips. Skips represents the wisdom that Rigby yearns to possess eventually.
This don't make no sense. No, that don't make no sense. So what about Pops and Thomas? You can't forget those three. They was in the show too. Anyways, hold up. There's something about this dude that we don't know. Why is it a point of view about Rippy though? Ain't the whole show is really point about Pops? And like Pops, what a Pop Vision is, it really basically was. Am I right or wrong? And it was like the whole time it was in like Pops died and he watching that in heaven off a DVD player. Like, ain't no way, bro.
This is a very common way for an alcoholic to cope with the variety of problems that fill their lives. So it wouldn't be that unusual for Rigby to think that way as well. The reason that all of these characters aren't human, but instead things such as a gumball machine or a blue jay or an immortal yeti, could also be influenced by Rigby dissociating himself from the attributes they represent, most likely because he's ashamed of them, like Muscle Man or Rigby, or because he doesn't genuinely see the traits within himself, like Mordecai and Skips. It's very common for alcoholics to suffer from severe anxiety, so with that we can assume that Rigby does as well. And this can explain why every episode has that very same plot structure. Each and every episode goes to 0 to 100 extremely fast, right? And I believe this to be due to Rigby's anxiety. Anxiety can cause the diagnosed to blow small things way out of proportion and make them feel way bigger than they truly are. So this leads me to believe that all of the insanity that proceeds to take place after being presented a minor problem is Rigby's anxiety-ridden brain completely overreacting about the severity of the inconvenience occurring. A perfect example of this...
No, you're wrong. There ain't no way. This is off of no. That just can't basically saying you. So you basically saying Rippy is an alcoholic the whole time, and he was thinking about this the whole time. So Rippy an alcoholic. Basically, that's what you basically saying. He basically saying everything off his mind. So none of this was real. So after he dropped out of high school, he become an alcoholic. You know that shit don't make no sense. Like what the fuck? Why?
Would be from the episode Birthday Gift in Season 7. In this episode, Rigby needs to get Mordecai the best birthday present, so he tries to create the perfect video game with no experience. But, while trying to make this amazing video game, he gets trapped inside and almost dies. In reality, I believe this is just Rigby's anxiety causing finding the perfect gift to feel like a life or death situation, completely blowing what for most people would consider a small issue out of the water. And lastly, the finale of the show displays the entirety of the park finally overcoming the defining flaws that make each character who they are, possibly implying that Rigby's taking control over his own life and the difficulties that he faces on a day-to-day basis. And yes, I know, all of this sounds completely crazy. Who would put a show like that on a kids' channel? Well, the regular show was actually originally made for Adult Swim, a channel where alcoholism and depression is a very common topic. On a channel like that, a show with a backstory like this would fit in wonderfully. Do you think there's any rhyme or reason to the randomness of this amazing show? You can completely overanalyze this show, just like I've done today, in so many directions. But I truly wonder, what direction is the correct one? But hey, once again, it's just a kid's show, and is most likely just that. But do you really think absolutely...
Anyway, what he's saying, there's something about you that we don't know. You need to stop with these with these funky theories that don't make no sense. Oh god, like this dude, like oh god, there's something about dude that we don't know, man. Matter of fact, hold on, before I even close up this video, let me see if he actually have other people. He did other people before he even he did other any other people. Oh yeah, okay. So he just only did Rippy. Wow. And this is the guy. Okay. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's clever, but dumb at the same time. But I guess. But
Rigby, what are we doing?
We're hanging out on a mansion.
it's but I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow all the social media that did pop up on the screen. And we on the road to 100.